Morning guys, today is Saturday the 28th of October. It is not even 7 AM yet. I've been up since 6:30, but yeah, so I've been doing this thing this last week. I did it a couple of times the week before, which I included on the vlog, but pretty much every day this week I've woken up or gotten up before Layla, and have been having a little bit of me time, I guess, in the morning, first thing in the morning before she gets up for the day. It's not actually been as hard to do as I would have initially thought had someone suggested doing this. I mean, I know people do this. I've seen other mums do, especially mums who work from home as well. I've seen them do it, and I used to think, oh god, that must be really difficult to do, getting up like really early in the morning when your kid already wakes up quite early. And you know, bear in mind, I used to sleep in, like before Layla came along, waking up early in the morning for me was like 8:39 AM. So now Layla wakes up at, she was waking up at 7, and now we're sort of slowly shifting her bedtime later, and so her morning wake up time should gradually shift later, because the clocks go back in a couple of weeks here, and I don't want her waking up at 4 or 5 AM. I'd rather her, you know, shift back from a, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock wake up to a 6:30, 7 o'clock wake up, and that'll be a much easier adjustment. And yeah, so it's been going pretty well so far. There was actually one day that she slept almost, she would have slept past 8 if I had left her, so I had to go get her up, otherwise it would have thrown a whole day off. But yeah, no, she's doing pretty good in that regard. I'm just going to use this time to relax. Usually I'd make myself a coffee, but I'm going to wait for Perry to wake up and we'll have a coffee together. But yeah, so I'm going to relax and work on my cardigan. I am so close to finishing the body now. I don't know if you can see here, but I've done all the short row shaping. You can see all the ribbing there. All the ribbing there. So I recorded the podcast yesterday, and where the marker was where I pretty much was when I showed it on the podcast. I haven't moved it from where it was, but I think it was a few rows past it. But basically I finished the body and started working on the ribbing, and as you can see I've done short row shaping on the ribbing section, so that's all been finished, and now I'm back to just knitting the ribbing until it's the right length, and then I can bind off. So I'm really hoping to get the body done today, and yeah, so that's really exciting. We have some plans for today. We're going to go out this morning. Layla has Gymboree at 9:30. It's a free session, so she's just going to go play, and then what are we going to do after that? Then we're going to head down to Union Square. There's a farmer's market there, and there's a store that sells apple cider donuts. I never actually got any whilst at Rhinebeck, but because I know I can get them quite easily at the farmer's market in the city, I didn't want to spend a lot of time queuing up for them at Rhinebeck. So, and actually I didn't even see where the stand was that sold them. So anyway, so we're gonna get some of those, and we also need to get a couple of bits from around there. So and then we'll see where we end up going in the afternoon. I think depending on how Layla's doing, we might go somewhere else afterwards, but it just depends on her. Okay, so I think that's about it for now. I will check back in with you guys and then as the day goes on. So I actually finished the ribbing this morning. I was so surprised. I was mostly done by the time Layla woke up. You can hear her in the background. Perry's just grabbing a shower, and I just was in the middle of binding off, so I wanted to show it to you. I'm so excited. You can kind of see where the short row shaping ended just because of the way the colours are lining up here, but it'll be fine once it's blocked. Here we go. It looks a bit funny and open at the moment because it's curling on itself and it doesn't have the button bands yet, but it does fit. Like, it will close even if it didn't have button bands on, like if it was all in one as a pullover. But I really love the length of this. It kind of hits at the right place where I wanted it to. Like I said, it's really hard to see properly because it's not been blocked and all of that, but you can see how long it is. Basically comes like halfway down my bum, which is a nice length. We're ready to go out. Look at you. He's wearing jeans. Little baby jeans are the most adorable thing. One day, Nugget. Yeah. Right, so I'm all ready to go. Perry and Layla have just already headed downstairs. I'll go see them in a minute. So I'm just wearing my Road to Rhinebeck shawl, my Samuel cardigan. This was my little Rhinebeck knitwear outfit, and I'm wearing my mix and match hat using the same Into the World yarn that I'm using for the cardigan, and totally not color coordinated at all, but who cares.
Yeah, I'm going to Daddy's phone.
Come on, Nugget. Alright. Straight for my phone again. Found ourselves an apple cider donut.
Twilight.
Need 2 hands for this. Someone just woke up from her nap. Hey Layla. We were really bad and we got to have breakfast, so I guess we're having donuts for breakfast. Oh, really good.
I love it.
Layla can't have any yet. She's not happy about it. But don't do that, that's so mean. snack time for Layla. Enjoying Union Square Park in the sunshine. And sirens, of course. Wouldn't be the city without sirens. So we're trying out Layla in a walker. Doesn't seem too enthusiastic about it so far. Layla! Hi! It's like the Batman seat, Layla.
It's so tiny.
Morning guys, it is Sunday, the 28th, 29th, oh jeez, light, of October. I'm up, it's bright and early. I didn't get up earlier than Layla today. She woke up at 6:30, which is the sort of time that I usually try and get up to get a bit of a head start on the day. But also I don't feel that great this morning, so I was actually going to try and sleep in a little bit longer rather than getting up early and doing some knitting this morning, but Layla had other plans, so I waited a little bit hoping she'd go back to sleep. She didn't, so we're up. Perry's still sleeping. Somehow he manages to sleep through her crying sometimes, so I'm the one who's up with her. I kind of had hoped that he would get up and get her up and so I could sleep in a bit more, but it's fine. I'll try and take a nap later, I guess. But yeah, so she's bouncing, as you can probably hear, and I am about to go make myself a coffee. Hey guys, so Perry finally woke up. He is looking after Layla today for me so I can get on with some work stuff. I'm gonna have to take a break in a minute and go have some breakfast because it's almost 10 and I haven't eaten anything yet. I had a coffee this morning, but I need some actual food. And yeah, Layla's having a nap, Perry's having a shower, and I'm just cracking on with some work. I realised actually someone sent me a message yesterday, I think it was, and asking when I was planning on releasing the Road to Rhinebeck shawl, like the final pattern version rather than in clue format. And I had been planning on taking photos of that shawl whilst we were at Rhinebeck last weekend on the Sunday. I knew Saturday was going to be far too manic to take proper pictures of anything. So my plan was to take photos of the Road to Rhinebeck shawl at Rhinebeck to put in the pattern. But then Perry got sick on Saturday, he got really ill. And he didn't come to Rhinebeck on the Sunday with me. I went on my own. He stayed back at the hotel with Layla. Layla was fine, but he wasn't feeling well. So he was feeling well enough to look after her, but not well enough to come out for the day, which was fine. So it just meant that I didn't get any photos done that day or that weekend. So, so yesterday we went out and I took the shawl with me and my camera and everything. And but nowhere we went was really that quiet. It was so busy because the weather was so nice yesterday. Like we went to 2 or 3 different parks and they were all pretty busy. In the end, as we were finishing up our day, we went to the park down the road from us and we found a quiet spot where Perry helped me out, took some pictures for me, and yeah, and then I took a few pictures with Layla as well, which I'll be posting on Instagram today, on the family one. So yeah, she was really adorable. We both got to wear our hand knits. We basically actually both were wearing our Rhinebeck outfits again. So yeah, that was quite fun. And yeah, that was it really. That's what we got up to yesterday. And like I said this morning, Perry's looking after Layla today. Obviously I'm still at home. I didn't go out today. My back really hurts this morning and last night it was really painful. So I didn't really feel like lugging my laptop and books and stuff down to the coffee shop, even though it's quite close by. Plus the weather is absolutely miserable outside. It's raining right now. So I just didn't fancy leaving the house, to be honest. So I'm just set up at the dining table and working on some stuff. So I've just finished editing the photos and updating the pattern. So now I need to update it on Ravelry and post about that on Instagram to let everyone know. Just working on some design stuff. I've quite a few admin-y things. I'm a bit behind on replying to emails and messages on Ravelry, so I need to do that. And I need to rework a couple of the designs for the sock club. I've been thinking more about them and I'm not entirely happy with how they will knit up as I think it is. And I actually recently saw a pattern, someone knitting a sock pattern, which if it's not exactly the same is remarkably close to one of the designs I was going to do. So I'm definitely changing that one because I don't want to put out a pattern that I know is very similar to or the same as something that's already out there. You know, I know occasionally, you know, some people, inevitably there are going to be patterns that are very similar or the same that have been released. But as far as I feel about it is like, you know, if when I design and publish something, if I am not aware that there is another pattern out there that's the same, then that's okay. But if you know there's another pattern out there that's the same, why would you publish it? It's happened to me a couple of times before when there's been one where it was one design where I had the idea and I hadn't actually started knitting it or writing up the pattern or anything, and I saw someone else publish a pattern that was basically the same thing. So I was like, okay, fine, scrap that. I'm not going to do that now. At least I'm not going to do the pattern. I'm not going to publish the pattern. And then there was another one where I'd knit the item and drafted the pattern and everything, was almost ready to publish it, and I saw someone else had published one very similar to it around the same, well, before I managed to. And there again, I was like, well, why would I publish something that's already been published? It happens every now and again. It doesn't happen very often. It just means, you know, there are people having similar ideas, which isn't the worst thing. Like, it's not the end of the world. But so yeah, so there's one that I wasn't entirely happy with how it was going to work up, so I'm going to rework that one, and this other one I'm going to come up with something completely different. I think I also need to come up with names for the sock patterns. I am the worst at naming my designs. It's something that I really struggle with. I don't know why. Sometimes it's really obvious or it's really easy, but a lot of the time I find it really difficult to come up with a theme or with a name for a pattern, because sometimes the thing that's inspired me for it doesn't really work out to be a good thing for a name, if that makes sense, or something, you know, it'd be too long or whatever. But in this case, because there are 2 sock clubs, I would like to have either a cohesive theme over the 2, or each club to have its own theme, but I find it really hard to do that, to be honest. I don't sit down and come up with a theme and then design around a theme. I kind of come up with my designs and then try to name it something appropriate. So yeah, that's on the table for today, to try and come up with something that's suitable for the designs that I have come up with, and because I want to work out all of the details for the sock clubs, so I can film a video about that and give you guys all the information and get that out there, because I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that either by next weekend or the following weekend I will be able to have the clubs up for pre-sale for you guys, and so yeah, fingers crossed. Alright, I better get going.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so big. Although it is a 2 to 3 year size, so I'm not surprised. Hey? It's so long.
Yeah. Yeah, little one. You ready, little one? Venko? You ready for the waves? You want some more? Yeah. Not coming out quick enough, is it?
How you doing, Nugget? You all dressed, ready to go out with Daddy? Yeah. Oh, look at you in that adorable top. Can you believe that jumper is knit in a 1 to 2 year size? But they run small. Apparently this pattern runs a bit small, so it's good.
Now baby runs a bit big.
It's the Raindrops pattern by Tin Can Knits. Yeah.
You're bouncy.
Very colour coordinated with the yellow leggings and purple hat. I think that looks quite good. Yeah. Right, so it's just me at home now. Perry's headed out with Layla. They are off to Columbia, the university Perry went to when he was doing his masters. He wanted to pick up a hoodie. From there, next weekend he's going to a Columbia football game or something, American football, with some of his old classmates. So he wanted to get a hoodie to wear, and literally today's the only chance he has to go get it, so he's taking Layla with him, even though the weather is absolutely miserable outside. You'll have seen Layla's all dressed up in some hand knits, and although not by me this time, at least the sweater isn't by me, that was by my friend who sent it over for her. And so yeah, they've gone now, so I'll have at least a couple of hours of peace and quiet at home to finish doing, or say finished, continue doing some work. I'm gonna just crack on and get some more work done, and I'm not doing a whole ton of knitting. I did cast on another pair of socks for the pattern club last night. This is out of the yarn from Fully Spun, and this is in the Blue Hole colorway, and it's a really beautiful 3-ply, very plump fingering weight. So I'm actually using 2.5mm needles, US 1.5s on Chagus. I already knit the first cuff and part of the leg because I wanted to see how the pattern was knitting up. I'm doing that with these socks now, is I'm actually knitting one cuff and then knitting 1 or 2 pattern repeats to see how the pattern knits up in that yarn to make sure that it's a good fit. That way I won't have like started the second sock, and then I'll start the second sock, get it to the same point, and then pop them onto the same needle. So I just wanted to show you what that was looking like so far before I do any patterning, so you can actually see what the yarn is looking like. And this one, the pattern's only on the back, on the front, sorry. So I will be able to show you those socks as I knit them from the back, so you can see how that works up. So yeah, so I started that last night, and then I just cast on the second cuff this morning, so the pattern for this one is knitting up quite nicely, and I really like it. It is, if this one is going to be in the beginner club set of patterns, it's super simple, but it's very effective, and I really like how the designers are working up on that one. Hey Layla, did you have a good time? What's over there?
Not Daddy, Daddy's here. Yeah. Okay, now that's good. Don't rock you because you can get too hot.
She's like, no Daddy, no.
Lumpy jumpies. Yeah, come here. If you want some smiles, you pick up a nugget. Woo! If you want some smiles, you pick up a nugget. Whee! And you can pick up nuggets this way. Whee! And whee! Yeah! You and again. And you pick up a nugget. You're not so sure, are you, Nugget?
Hey guys. Hey guys. So Perry's gone to put Layla down to bed, and I am finishing. Oh, you're there. Morning guys, it is Monday the 30th of October. It is, what is it? It's not even 7 AM. Just trying to have some coffee. I should show you how far I got on those socks that I showed you yesterday. I should have unzipped this project bag before I started recording, but I shall show you the back. And there we go. I got about 20 rows in to the patterning after the cuffs. It's a bit blown out here, let me see. There you go. And it's a bit hard to tell right now, but the colours are slightly different on the 2 socks because of the way the yarn was spun. But you can see in this one how it's darker in the middle and gets lighter as it goes out. And yeah, it's not like a it's not a striping thing, but it's more like a gradiating changes in the colour, but it's not the same, like it doesn't, there's no repeat or anything, it just kind of gets darker and lighter randomly. So the 2 socks aren't going to be identical, but that's fine, it's never bothered me, and I think that's kind of part of the fun of it, because it's meant to look like hand spun, and hand spun isn't perfect. So but you do get good consistency with it, which is nice. Let's see if I can show this to you without giving anything away. I popped in heels on the Christmas socks. It's not going to focus on it, but I don't want to show the pattern. I popped in the heels on the Christmas socks last night, which was good, and I'm hoping to get the Christmas socks finished this week, so I get photos and everything taken next weekend, and because that's the first pattern that's going to come out when I publish the sock clubs. So I finally came up with themes and names and stuff that is like completely makes sense, I guess, and I'm really excited about it now. I'm happy I finally settled on something for it. They're not necessarily relevant to the actual patterns, but they're names and words and things that are, you know, have some meaning to me, if nothing else. So I figured, since I couldn't come up with something that reflected necessarily stitch patterns or something like that, I wanted the names of the sock patterns for the clubs and the overall names of the collections to be you know, something personal to me, something that meant something to me. So, you know, that made sense. Like, it wasn't just randomly picking words or randomly picking names that didn't really have much meaning to me, but these are all words and meanings and stuff that that means something special, like two sides of my personality essentially, and I'm so excited about it. I'm planning on recording a video talking about the sock club, giving you guys all the information. I'm planning on doing that this week at some point, so I'm not sure when that will be, but again, I'm hoping to have that recorded this week and then hopefully published next week when the sock clubs will go live. And that will just be initially there won't be anything, there'll just be a placeholder PDF until the Christmas pattern is ready, and hopefully that will be ready by the end of next week. Like I said, I want to get the sock finished this week, then I can get the pattern checked and edited and by my tech editor, and then that will come out as the initial bonus pattern, which will be the Christmas pattern, and it's perfect for self-striping or non-self-striping yarn. You don't have to use it, but I wanted a pattern that would work really nicely with self-striping as well. It is so simple, it is so effective, it is so fun, and yeah, it's just like you just want to keep knitting on it, which is great. And it also works for uneven stripes, so that's basically what the yarn I'm using is. It's uneven stripes, so it's fun for that too. The only thing I would say is not going to be great for is like patterned self-striping yarn, so stuff like the Regia, Arnie and Carlos line and things like that. I think those might get lost a little bit in this patterning. Like it's not going to be the most effective on that kind of yarn. This will be quite good for like some variegated yarns, like highly speckled yarns. I think it will help pick out the speckles and stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one, and I hope you guys are too. I will have like a little mini knit along for the Christmas sock pattern until the end of the year once it comes out, and the Christmas sock pattern will also actually be available as an individual pattern separate from the sock club, so that will be released at the same time. So but the rest of the sock club patterns, because it's a bonus one, it's not an official part of the sock club, but the rest of the sock patterns will be exclusive to the sock club until the end of the year. And anyway, I'll give you all that information when I do the sock club video. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling more excited about it. I was excited before, but I was still feeling quite anxious that I hadn't figured out all the details, and now that I have, I'm definitely more on the excited end of the spectrum. So yeah, I'm gonna get going with a bit more knitting before Layla wakes up, and I will catch up with you guys soon. Someone is throwing tantrums this morning because Mummy won't let her smash all the keys on her keyboard. Hey, you practicing standing up? Yeah. You big girl. You're practicing standing. I've got a hand here, but she's mostly doing it all herself. Oh, be careful. So we've had our lunch, and we now have a clean nappy. Yes, you do. You've done a real stinker. Yeah. Now we're just hanging out on the sofa for a little bit. Layla was playing with the Xbox controller. Yep. And I'm working on my socks, the ones I showed you that I started yesterday. You can see how the colours are progressing now. The two socks look different, but I really like this darker blue that's coming out on this one. And yeah, I'm really liking how it's knitting up. It is so fun, such an intuitive knit, this particular pattern. A lot of the patterns are quite intuitive and easily memorizable once you get going. At least I hope they will be. Some will require more concentration, but majority are going to be nice and easy in that regard.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'm just knitting here and there where I can whilst keeping an eye on this little nugget. Yeah? Who's that? Who's that, Layla? Is that you? Is that you in the camera? I'm actually somewhat astounded right now. I actually have to go wake Layla up because she's slept over 2 hours for her lunch nap, which has not happened for a couple of weeks now. Yeah, actually I think it's been more like 2 or 3 weeks since she's last slept over 2 hours at lunch. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Hello. Face plant. You're up. Smiling. Yeah. Did you have a good nap? Did you sleep well? She was waking up just as I went into the room, so good timing, wasn't it? I had actually planned on taking Layla to Gymboree this afternoon after she woke up from her nap, but then I decided to call my mum because it's been a while since I spoke to her. So my mum tried to call me over the weekend and I wasn't able to take the call at the time, so I thought I'd give her a call back since the timing worked out quite nicely for it to be her early evening. So yeah, we just got off the call with that, got off the phone for that call. Just can't form words, it seems. So we're all set up. Layla's having a go in it. But she seems to only so far have been able to figure out going backwards. We have yet to master going forwards, haven't we, Nugget? Hey guys, so Perry's just taken Layla to put her down for bed and we've already had dinner actually. So yeah, so we're just gonna spend the rest of the evening relaxing, I guess, watch a bit of TV, hang out, chat a bit. We've got a few things to go over and figure out, and yeah, I've got a couple of socks that need heels now, so I'm going to work on those. I tend to leave heel knitting now for the evenings just because I never know how long Layla's going to nap during the day, and I can't really work on heels while she's awake just because if I need to put my knitting down, like I really don't like stopping halfway through a heel, so I like to just be able to finish a heel. And while it doesn't take me all that long to knit a heel, it still takes, you know, with a baby you have to put stuff down all the time. So so yeah, anyway, the walker so far has received mixed reactions from Layla. So far she can only go backwards and she's not entirely enthusiastic about it. It might just be that it was towards the end of the day and she's a bit tired, so probably wasn't the best time to start her in it, but we'll give her another go tomorrow and we'll see how that works out. What else do I need to catch you guys up on? I think that's about it really, not much else. I really what I want to do this week, if I can, is sort out my yarn stash. I want to sort of pull everything out, give everything a good airing and sort of reorganize a little bit. So I'd like to do that at some point this week if I can. It'll probably have to happen in stages. First stage we can just pull everything out and then sort of working around Layla's schedule wherever I have a bit of time to organize and sort out. And I don't know if I need to do a bit of a de-stash or a declutter and get rid of some stuff or what. So I'm just gonna go through it all and see what's what I have, sort of a refresh. I do have like a spreadsheet with everything that I have, but you know, it's just nice to be able to see it sometimes as well and get a better idea of what's in there. So yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's going to be it for today as well. So thank you so much for joining me, you guys, and I will see you guys feel like I'm just saying, like, repeating myself. See you tomorrow. Morning, Hugo. You're in my spot. You don't care, do you? Morning, guys. So it's 10 to 8. It is Tuesday the 31st of October, so happy Halloween. I woke up this morning slightly dazed and confused, just because normally I'm awake around 6:30 naturally, either because Layla's woken up or because I need to get up and go to the toilet. So it was really odd. It was this really odd feeling when I finally woke up this morning, and I was like, what time is it? Checked the time and it was 7:30. Layla was fast asleep. Perry's already left for work, and I had no idea he'd gone. It was a very odd feeling. I will admit, like, I felt very disorientated. So yeah, it's, like I said, it's almost 10 to 8. I'm gonna make myself a coffee, but I'm probably gonna have to wake Layla up at 8 o'clock. So this is very strange. She very rarely sleeps this late in the morning, so I'm not entirely sure what to do about it. I'm not sure if I should get her up or let her sleep in. So we'll see. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do about that, but she is absolutely zonkoed. Not sure if you can see that there. So yeah, we will see. I'll probably wake her up just after 8 and give her a little bit longer if she wants to sleep, but she's done over 12 hours already, so anyway, that's that. So I didn't actually get to knit any heels last night like I'd wanted. Perry and I ended up chatting for quite a while about some stuff, and so I didn't actually do any knitting, or not much anyway. So once we'd finished talking about what we needed to talk about, I pulled out the Christmas socks and knit on those for a little bit. So I probably added about 20 rows to those last night, and that was about all I knit in the evening. But yeah, so I'm really happy with how these are working up. You can see the striping sequence now. So you got dark green, a bit of white, a dark green section, and then a red and a paler green. It's not showing up a bit like grey on camera right now, but it is like a paler green, grey, and then back to red, and then back to the big dark green section again. So that's what that striping is like, and the pattern works fine on like uneven stripes, like I was saying, but you do need to have at least 2 or 3 rows in your stripes for it to work. That would be the only thing I would say, but otherwise, yeah, I'm really happy with how these are knitting up. Alright, so Layla is awake. She's had her milk. She's now in the walker. I'm hoping to get her used to it, because it would be good for her to practice. And Mr. Derek here is just zonkoed on the chair. Hey Derek, say hi to everybody. Don't know if the camera's going to focus on his face or not. Oh, what was that? Someone has gone into Mummy's Rhinebeck yarn. She has good taste. She's gone after the Into the World. Yeah. You happy with yourself? Are you chewing on the label? It's gonna have like Layla teeth marks in it. Yep, yes it is. Thank you, Nugget. Snack time. Got apples and pears today. She enjoys munching on apples and pears. Doesn't really eat much of them, but gives her the flavour and gets her used to the textures and stuff. Yeah, good job, Nugget. You did it. So yeah, she just had like a whole big piece of banana, like ate it in a few bites, and like I was feeding it to her, but so she wouldn't take too much. But that was progress. Yeah. Was that progress? You can try a little bit more. We're gonna have a bit more banana. Alright, so just before I get up and get Layla's lunch ready, I thought I would quickly show you what I just finished. I just finished my Christmas socks. So these are the Christmas, this is going to be the bonus Christmas pattern that comes with the sock gloves for next year. And this will be coming out for this Christmas. So yeah, they're all finished. This is obviously the underside of the foot, so no pattern spoiler giveaways. I've just finished weaving in the ends, and they weigh, I used just under 70 grams of yarn total for this. So yeah, I mean, I know some people, it's funny because some people say that they finish their socks and they don't weave in their ends for ages afterwards. I kind of just do it as soon as the socks are finished. That way I'm not tempted to just leave it and forget about it and not do them later. I just feel like it's easier to just do it right then and there. I mean, I Kitchener the toes, so I already have my tapestry needle and scissors out for like finishing off the toes anyway, so I may as well just weave in my ends at the same time. And once again, the yarn is by Turtle Pearl Yarns. There's striped turtle toes, and this is on their Mistletoe Kisses colorway on their 75-25 superwash merino nylon base. It's 450 yards in 100 grams. So there you go. You get two individually dyed skeins, but they're dyed together, so you get almost perfectly matching stripes. I found that I was basically almost exactly one row off on my stripes matching up, but you know what, like, you really can't tell. I can't tell. So yeah, very chuffed with these and how they've turned out. Alright, finished with lunch now. I have to say, feeding Layla these days has become so much more enjoyable in just this last week alone. She's been much better at eating, haven't you, honey? Yeah. She's been more into her food, eating quicker, not fussing so much over being fed. Yeah, it's making Mummy's life much easier. It's just more enjoyable feeding her when she's not being so fussy about it. Yeah? And her appetite's increasing as well, which I guess makes sense considering she's moving around a lot more. So she needs more energy. But yeah, so I'm really chuffed with that. I'm really happy that she's eating better, she's sleeping a lot better, obviously, and she's, you know, everything's just falling into place a lot easier now. It's just my days with her at home are a lot more relaxed and a lot less stressful than they were just even 2 weeks ago. Alright, so Layla's down for a nap. I'm about to have my lunch, so fingers crossed she sleeps again today, and I'll get a decent chunk of knitting done. So Layla's woken up, an hour and 10 minutes into her nap, so a lot shorter than I was hoping for today, but that's fine. Oh, sorry, lights aren't on in the kitchen. That's okay. I left her in her bed for a little bit. She's not crying, she's just sort of chattering to herself, and I guess I was hoping she might go back to sleep, but it doesn't look like she is. So instead of just leaving her in there and hoping she's going to go back to sleep, when it doesn't look like she will do, I'm going to get her up and get her changed, and then we're going to head out to Gymboree. so we're back from the store. Outside is really busy right now. I guess it's Halloween, all the kids are out. So many kids in adorable little costumes, it was really sweet. I didn't actually dress Layla up today. We do have a outfit for her, Halloween costume as such, but we didn't find any like children's parties or whatever, like Halloween themed parties to take her to today. There were, or over the weekend, there were a couple. There was one at her Gymboree last week, but it was on a Thursday at 5 o'clock, which is a really awkward time. We didn't do that one. And then there was, or is I can't remember when it is, or was, but there was like a children's Halloween parade or something going on, but that doesn't start till like 7. So again, her bedtime's around 7:30, so that wasn't gonna work out. But yeah. I had gotten her dressed up actually in her costume a couple weeks ago to take some pictures and just to try it on, see how it is. So I'll be posting a couple of those to Instagram, I think, in a bit. But yeah, no, the other thing I wanted to say was apparently there was some sort of incident in Lower Manhattan today, like a truck hit a bunch of pedestrians or something. I've just literally had a flurry of messages from people being like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Clearly, I'm okay. Me and Layla are fine. I swear for the most part I live in my own little knitting baby bubble, like in the Upper East Side. Like yeah. I was nowhere near it. Perry doesn't work in Manhattan either, and he's out on Long Island today, so he was fine. And even when he does work in Manhattan, he doesn't work anywhere near where that happened. So Layla's in her walker, she's having a good time. So Perry's putting Layla down for bed now. Not much has happened this afternoon since after we got home. Perry got back, he fed Layla, I got our dinner ready. She's putting up a fight apparently with bedtime. Don't know if you could hear her crying. And yeah, the kids are running around in the corridor trick-or-treating in our building, which is really fun to hear. And yes, I think that's it really. I think we're just gonna have a quiet night. Dinner's ready basically, waiting for Perry to get out of the bedroom. Hopefully she's okay. She always seems to realise it's bedtime when we start strapping her in, putting her into her sleeping bag. So it's usually when she starts getting upset about the fact that it's time to either have a nap or go to bed or whatever. But yeah, so hopefully finally get started on some heels. And yeah, I think that's it for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Morning guys. Today is Wednesday the 1st of November, so happy November. And yeah, so I started recording a little bit later this morning than I have done previously. I'm here with Layla. Hey honey. She's just had breakfast. I've already had my coffee and everything. It is actually now 9 o'clock, 9 AM. So I've been up for a few hours. Layla's been up for a couple of hours. And so now I'm gonna get myself ready and little Miss Layla ready. Yeah? And yeah, we're gonna head out to the shops and actually do a proper grocery shop this morning. Mommy's not gonna forget her wallet this time. Yeah? Was Mummy a bit silly yesterday? Yeah? I think someone's ready to get out of that chair. She's starting to get the hang of moving forwards. I think it helps having her feet uncovered so she can grip the floor a bit better. I've just been organising my yarn stash and it didn't take half as long as I thought it would. I'll quickly show you what it's looking like right now. It's all out on the bed. So the 4 bags at the front here are, Jesus, really awkward doing this, are essentially my stash, and the stuff behind it are either minis or leftovers or stuff to be destashed and all that sort of stuff. I briefly discussed previously as well that I probably will be doing a de-stash soon, but I'm not sure when it will be exactly. More than likely I will do it on Etsy this time. I'll just reopen the Etsy shop for a de-stash sale, only because last time when I did it on Instagram it was fine, but it did get a little bit crazy, and at least on Etsy that way you know, stuff is automatically sorted. I don't then have to send out PayPal invoices and stuff. It's just automatically done. Here you go. Hello. She just wants to be on camera. Look at her. So yeah, I will let you guys know once I decided how I'm going to do the de-stash sale. I'm still sort of sorting through stuff. And yeah. So it seems like it's going to be quite cold outside today, which is great. So I'm all wrapped up. Got my Road to Rhinebeck shawl on, which the actual full pattern is now released. I mean, it was released before, but in clue format only. Now you can get it in clue format or the full pattern with pictures and everything, or with the same download. I've got my, is this the right way around? Yeah, I've got my mix and match hat. This is the adult version that's not been released yet, but the child version has been released. And this is my hoodie stripe or hoodie shawl cardigan. I can't remember what it's called now. And I've got Layla's mix and match hat, and she's wearing the sweater. So we are all ready to go. Did you just do a fart? You happy with yourself? Yeah. What is that? Yeah, that's new for you. I've also got her blanket down here in case it's really cold outside. Successful shop done. Look who's awake. Hi, did you have a good nap? Yeah? Alright, so Layla's having her nap, and I thought I'd quickly show you some progress on these socks. So this will be one of the sock patterns for the clubs. I'm only showing you the back. And this is using the fully spun yarn, so the one that's spun up to look a bit like hand spun. And yeah, so as you can see, the colours aren't exactly matching because the ball or the skein isn't, you know, perfectly matching at either end. So it sort of just gradiates gradually through different colours, different shades of the same colour blue. It reminds me of a crazy Zalba ball in that sense. And this is definitely a lot plumper and thicker yarn than a crazy Zalba ball. I've gone up a needle size from my usual for knitting socks. This is a 2.5mm needle, so a US 1.5, and 56 stitches for this one. So I popped in the heels last night. I actually pulled yarn from the other end of the skein of each ball to knit the heels, and the heels are actually matching because when I split the cake, the outside of both cakes is from the same part of the skeins, like where it's split, so the yarn is the most similar at this point. So it's interesting that the heels will match perfectly, pretty much, but because it gradiates gradually throughout, I didn't want there to be a line on the front of the sock where, you know, if, for example, if I'd knit the heel in the same yarn from the front, I could have joined back in the round at this point, for example. I don't know exactly where, but around here, for example, and it might have been a bit of a line between where this is the lighter part and then suddenly coming back to this slightly darker section. It probably would have been less obvious on this sock, but I think on this one there would have been a line across the front, which I just didn't want. So just pulled from the other end to do the heels. And yeah, there we go, just pop, about 2/3 of the way down the foot, so very close to being done with these. And so yeah, looking forward to that. So while Layla sleeps, so as long as she does, I'm going to get cracking with these socks. Well, little madam here decided that napping today was for losers. She, yeah, you right there. She did sleep in the end. She had 2 sort of 40-minute naps, but it wasn't the best. So be it. Not the end of the world. She was super happy when I went and got her in the end, so that's all that matters.
Come on, honey. Yeah. Come on. Oh, you're doing so good. There we go. Snack time. Straight in the mouth. Good job. Yeah. Right. Is it good? How about some banana? Oh, no, you want the apple. Alright, have the apple for now. We'll come back for bananas later. Someone just took a huge chunk out of her apple. You doing good with it? Yeah. Yeah. Was it tasty? Yeah. Is it good? Still working on it. Good job. So there we have it, another pair of socks done. So this is one of, sorry about the music, it's Layla's toy. This is one of the patterns from the sock club. I'm gonna go off and wash and block it now.
Hey, so it's been a while since I properly checked in. You saw that I finished those socks for the sock club, so I'm feeling really relieved. I have a third pair that are on the needles for the sock club, and that's almost finished as well. I'll probably get those done tonight. Then I have yarn for 2 more already wound up, ready to go, so I need to get those cast on, probably over the weekend. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better about where I'm at with that in terms of progress. If you remember on the podcast, I was talking about how I was starting to feel a little bit stressed because I kept feeling like I wasn't going to get enough done before the end of the year. Which I know is a bit stupid considering I can knit a pair of socks in a day, but that's, you know, the time when the days when I had the amount of time to be able to do that are long gone. So it does take me a little bit longer than a day to knit a pair of socks, but I can still get a pair done in a week, so I really don't know why I was so stressed out about it. I don't know, maybe it was just because there are so many other things I want to knit as well, but yeah, also Layla's going through some sort of phase right now, and I'm so hoping it is just a phase. I'm pretty sure it is, but she pretty much screams the house down if I leave a room and she doesn't come with me, like, as if like she's never going to see me again. Sometimes she doesn't, and she just like crawls in after me. And there. She was only on the play mats just there, so I can see her still, but hey. She's loving the walker as well, because now she's figured out how to move around in it. She's still a bit wobbly on it sometimes in terms of not going completely where she wants to go all the time, but she's getting better. And she followed me to the bathroom earlier, so that was fun. I guess a taste of things to come. But the main reason I brought you in here was to show you what I was going to show you this morning and just never got round to. So this is the stash essentially. So I'll start down this end. This is all fingering weight yarn that will probably become shawls or other accessories other than socks. There are a few yarns in here that could potentially become sweaters eventually, or a cardigan or a pullover or something, but I don't have immediate plans for that right now, or I might end up using the yarn for something else. And I've mixed up, I don't tend to separate my stash for like what is for design stash and what is not. It's kind of all in together, and I just know what is what more often than not. So there are some design yarns in this one, in all of them actually. This one is sock yarn, which more than likely will turn into socks. This end here is all the self-striping. At this end I actually counted, I have 14 skeins of self-striping yarn and 3 that are commercial as well on top of that, so 17 total. I need to start working through those. And this end is just all the non-self-striping, mostly indie dyed yarns, sock yarns, which, like I said, some of these, majority of these will likely become socks. Some will probably become other things in the future. And we still have a little Layla down here. Hey.
This bag is all of my heavier weight yarns and hand spun. So not my hand spun, bear in mind, most of this is actually hand spun from my friend Sarah, who, if you watch my Rhinebeck vlog, I pointed her out, and that is my friend Sarah that I keep referring to. She has the Reluctant Sisters podcast, and she saw podcasts sporadically, but they do have a podcast. She does have a podcast on YouTube, and so yeah, this is mostly a DK worsted and a bunch of hand spun from my friend Sarah. In here, there is hand spun from a couple of other people in there, but it's mostly from her, and that's that. I have a couple of baby sweater quantities in there for Layla, potentially. And in here are all of my sweater quantities. And I believe now there's like over 10 sweater quantities in here. And where's the zip? There it is. If anyone's wondering, I got these bags from the Container Store. They're actually really good price and value for what they are. Oh, jeez, come on. It's hard to open these zippers one-handed. There we go. So if you remember, I said I got the wool fingering, intending to match it with a gradient set that I had for the Fading Lines cardigan. This was the gradient set I was talking about from Wool Bearers that I picked up at Vogue Knitting Live this last January. So sort of shades of purples, getting lighter. I didn't actually realise that these two shades were a lot lighter than the rest, so I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that now, but I'll likely still use it for something. And the grey works, I think, with that purple, which is good. And depending on what sweat, if I end up doing Fading Lines, then I'll need 2 skeins, 2 maybe 3 of the grey. But I'm thinking of maybe if I do something else, then, because there's almost like 700 yards in this set, and there's 400 yards in here, so I might only end up needing 1.5 skeins, or just 2 skeins instead of 3. To pair with this to get a sweater quantity. So that was one idea. Then I also have this set, this watermelon gradient from Biscott, in a Biscott yarn company, from their Canadian, and I picked this up at the very first Vogue Knitting Live that I went to, not this January, just gone the January before, intending to make some sort of cardigan or something with it. But it's 1,000 meters, so over 1,000 yards, almost 1,100 yards in this set, but it needs a little bit more to be a sweater quantity for me, so I figure just 1 extra skein would work with that. So that would work with that one, and then I have 1 extra skein of wool of the fingering, which, you know, a fingering weight grey is never going to be not be needed for something. Why isn't it going to focus? Grey tends to be my neutral of choice. I tend to stick more to grey neutrals than sort of like beige, taupe, cream kind of neutrals. I just feel like it suits me better. It's just what I prefer. And the rest of my sweater quantities are in here as well. So that's that. So in here I have actually a bunch of yarns and some other goodies that are for going to be for giveaways and prizes and stuff like that. There's a knit crate package in there. This tea club bag doesn't actually have tea in it. It has fibre and a Turkish spindle, which I'm going to be doing a giveaway for very soon. Then in here, this little basket, or this is the bucket, so the Project Caddy that I showed on the podcast last week. For now, it's currently holding some yarn. These are yarns that I've picked out. Actually, my brother picked out most of these as yarns for him and my dad. I think these 3 were ones that he picked out. Perry picked out this one as socks for him, and I picked out a few more to use for gift socks, for gift knitting, and I have this one which was already wound up, so I'll use that for socks probably as well. And then here I have the rest of my stuff. So that pile there is going to be de-stash stuff, I think, and then this box, that bag and that bag are all my scraps, from mostly from this year, some from previous years. Oh sorry, and this bag as well behind it, if I can reach it, this bag as well. So a ton of scraps. And that bag there with the small few bits on top of it, which are from Rhinebeck, is all my minis that I have. Mostly minis that actually all those are minis that I've been gifted, so in swaps and stuff. So I need to go through and sort through that. I'll be keeping all of those. I don't think I'll be getting rid of any minis, but I'll definitely be looking to put together some little scrappy bundles for the destash as well. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I can probably put away most of these bags now that they've been somewhat organised, but the scraps stuff still needs to be organised, and that's just all rubbish that needs to go to recycling. So yeah, there's that. That's a lot of yarn. I keep trying to go through and be ruthless with it and get rid of stuff that I don't think I'm going to use, but then I love all of it so much, and there are lots of skeins in here that have been gifted as well, so I kind of don't want to get rid of a lot of them. But I do need to at some point get really realistic with how much knitting time I do have and how much I will knit. But you know, at least yarn doesn't go bad as long as moths don't get in. But yeah. Alright, I gotta get going. This little one needs her dinner. Yeah. Perry should be getting home soon. Someone's going diving into Mummy's stash. Yeah. Finding all the... Oh, don't put it in your mouth. It doesn't go in your mouth. So I think that's it for this evening. Perry's gone to put Layla down. I've just finished batch cooking a bunch of food for Layla, some vegetables, and I did like a bolognese sauce type thing, just a bit of beef and a whole bunch of veggies in there. I've just finished blending that up, so I'm gonna finish that off later this evening. We're gonna have some dinner soon, and then yeah, just gonna knit a little bit and then relax and enjoy the rest of our evening. So yeah, that's it for now. I gotta go get those socks out the sink, they're still in there from earlier. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that and then knit a little bit more, maybe finish another pair of socks, who knows. It is Thursday the 2nd of November. Layla's now awake, so I'm gonna go grab her, and yeah, you'll have seen a bit of footage this morning. Perry and I got up early, he had a bit of time before he had to leave, so he was playing his game for a bit, and I finished these little sockies last night, just before I went to bed, so I didn't record that, but they're all done. This is in the Maker's Haven yarn, in the Midnight Talks colourway. Really, really fun to knit with, and they just flew off the needles. So I got the 3 pairs of socks done for the sock club in like a week, which is ridiculous. So yeah, I'm hoping to be able to get a few more pairs done before the end of the year. I'm just
casting on the next one. Got the cuff on for one sock and half a cuff for the other. So yeah, had my coffee. So gonna go grab Layla now and get our day started. You figuring out how to get around? She's doing pretty good now. What was that? Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Good job, honey. It's a tough life being a cat. Isn't it, Derek? You have such a hard life. Yeah. Well, let's just wait till Layla starts walking, then you'll know. Hardship. So, I get a lot of questions about how the boys are with Layla. I think I recently showed you how Hugo reacts with her. So I thought I'd show you how Derek reacts. These are some of the other yarns for the sock club patterns that I've yet to wind up. So I've got 2 more already wound up. One I cast on this morning, which was the cozy knitter yarn. I've just got the cuffs done for that pair of socks now, and I think I'm going to start the cuffs on the other pair of socks as well, just to get them going, and that's out of some Teeny Button Studios yarn. But in here I have, this is Once Upon a Corgi, this is Yoshi and Lucy Knits. These 2 are from Lolo Did It. She sent this one for cuffs, heels and toes. And this one is from Nora George, and this one is from Bullenvine. So yeah, really excited to dig into these at some point soon as well. And I have one more on the way, and then there are 2 others which are still coming, which would round out the 12 patterns nicely. So yeah. Okay, so Layla's down for her nap, and I'm just finishing off some lunch, catching up on some podcasts, and knitting away. I have finished the first cuff on the next pair of socks that I've cast on. Ooh, this is, if I can get it to focus, Teeny Button Studios. Ooh, I think it's her 80/20 sock base. I can't grab the label right now, but this is in the, I believe it's Sally's Pralines. Pralines, I don't know how you want to pronounce it, colorway. I believe it's one of her New Orleans inspired colorways, And yeah, so it's from Teeny Button Studio. Robin is the dyer behind that, and I am partway through the second cuff. Sorry, the camera's really close. I'm partway through the second cuff and hope to get that finished and get started on the pattern. Alright, so this is where I'm at with the socks now. As you can see, this half of the skein had a bit more of the speckled colours on it than this half, but that's absolutely fine. This sort of thing does not bother me at all. It's just the nature of hand-dyed yarns. And yeah, so like I said, this is in the I've grabbed the tag to show you. This is in the Sally's Pralines colourway in the Tough Sock base. So it's high twist, fingering weight yarn, 80% superwash BFL, 20% nylon, and Teeny Button Studios, though the T's kind of been cut off there, but hand dyed in New Orleans. So there you go. And that's where I'm at. I didn't get as much progress done as I had wanted because, well, I'll turn the camera around and tell you. So I hadn't got as much progress done as I had wanted because Perry contacted me. He was, we're still finalising our plans, or now we have, but we were finalising our plans for the trip we're going to be taking in a couple of weeks. So for Thanksgiving week, we've decided to go away. We decided to do this a while ago, but we just hadn't narrowed down where we were going to go. We were waiting to see what was going to happen job-wise and stuff like that, and sort of decide nearer the time. Anyway, things are looking a lot more positive on the job front. Nothing confirmed yet, so I'm not going to say anything. But anyway, so it's looking a lot better right now, and so we decided to go to Canada. We're going to go to Toronto for a week, which is really, really fun. It's somewhere we both wanted to go to, and it's new for both of us. I mean, I've been to Toronto once before, but I was there for like a whole day, for like just a day, and so I don't really have much of a memory of Toronto. So that was like over 10 years ago as well, so it was quite a while ago. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. So we're going to be going from the weekend before Thanksgiving up to basically the day after Thanksgiving we come back. And it's a nice short flight, it's not too long, it's the same time zone. We're not going to have to deal with any sort of like, you know, jet lag and stuff like that. So we wanted to go somewhere within the same time zone, or within like a 1 hour time difference. That was kind of our parameters for this trip, because we are only going to go away for a week, and we had thought about going somewhere else as well as Toronto, but we then decided to just go to one place, and then we could take it easy, and we don't have to like try and cram everything into like 2 or 3 days, and we can just relax. And you know, even if we have 1 or 2 days where we don't do much, then you know, it's nice to just go away and relax a little bit. So yeah, so we booked our flights, and then we were back and forthing on Airbnb places, and I was like messaging Eric, being like, can you check this place, is this good? And Eric is from the 6 Plus Twine podcast, and he's a good friend of mine, and I was contacting him beforehand about getting recommendations. He lives in Toronto, probably should have said that. So I was asking him for recommendations on areas to look into, and like he was double checking the places we were looking at to you know, make sure we weren't going to book somewhere in a really dodgy part of town. So anyway, so that's all sorted. I'm pretty sure Perry's booked that now. He hasn't said anything, I assume he has. So yeah, so that's all booked now, which is nice. And also I like the idea of going to Toronto, so we wouldn't have to get a car. We could just stay downtown and, you know, walk or take public transport and not have to worry about a car. If you haven't noticed or figured out by now, I really don't like going places or being somewhere where we have to have a car all the time. Like, it does kind of I like the idea of not having to have a car, not being reliant on a car, and then all the issues associated with having a car. Anyway, that's a whole other story for another day. But yes, that's why I haven't gotten as much knitting done, because I spent a bunch of time on Airbnb and like looking at apartments and stuff like that. So weird lighting going on. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to watching the podcast and doing a bit more knitting before Layla wakes up. What are you doing?
eat the playmat? What are you doing? Layla. No, you don't need the playmat. Already throwing tantrums. Layla. Do you want some fruit? Maybe you're hungry. Alright, let's try some fruit.
So I'm sat on the floor now. Layla's just playing. She's just had some fruit. She did so well. She ate like about a third of a banana, which like completely surprised me. Yeah. And she did really well. Like I said, she ate a third of a banana and then played around with a piece of pear. So she did really good. Yeah. Practicing crawling, are we? Getting up on your hands and knees. She's pretty good at getting up on her hands and knees. She's not so good at the actual getting around on hands and knees. She always ends up back on her belly. Like, kind of like that. But she's definitely quick. Not quite so quick now, but she can be. Hey? And today I noticed for the first time she's able to completely sit up again after she's been laying down or on her front. I just don't know if she's going to do it now, but she has done it a few times today. Morning guys, it is Friday the 3rd of November. Got my morning coffee. It's about 6:20. Perry and I are both awake. He woke up early for no reason. He's working out in New York today, so he actually has no reason to get up this early. And I woke up when he woke up, so I thought I'd just get up as well. So he's gonna have a shower, get ready, and play his game, and I'm gonna get on with editing this week's vlog. I started editing last night, got through Saturday, then had to go to bed. So I'm going to try and get through the next couple of days this morning, and then over the day try and get through the rest of it. I'm not entirely sure. I might consider splitting the vlog into 2 parts just so that it's more manageable sizes. But we will see. We'll see how things go and what the finished length of the vlog ends up being. So yeah, I guess I'll catch up with you guys a little bit later. Good morning.
Good morning, Maggie.
No, you got some very special daddy cuddles this morning. It's not normally here this time.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Good morning. Yeah.
Alright, we're all ready to head out now. Layla's all dressed in her adorable baby jeggings and her Batman t-shirt. You can't see it very clearly, but it says it wasn't me, it was Batman. And I thought it was incredibly appropriate for this morning. Yes, because little miss just had a ginormous poop explosion, shall we say. It was a very messy cleanup. So yeah. Anyway, we're all ready now and we're gonna head off. Hopefully Layla will have a nap soon. But I realised I hadn't actually told you guys what I'm doing today. So after Layla's Gymboree, we're going to head down to Rhinebeck Park to meet Perry there for lunch. We did that a few weeks ago and it was really nice, so we're going to do it again today. The weather's really lovely for it. And apparently their Winter Wonderland sort of Christmas holiday market thing's already open, so we're going to go check that out. And yeah, I mean I can't believe that it's already the beginning of November and it's already open. So I actually believe it opened on Monday, so before Halloween was even over. That's
a bit nuts really. But yeah, so looking forward to going and checking that out. And yes, I'll take you along with us. That was a successful Gymboree session, even if I did forget my socks. And Layla had a good time. And now she's having a snack while we're heading to the station. Yeah? Someone is looking very tired. Oh, look at that little face. It's nice and sunny today. Hey, the Gymboree just tuck you out. We had a little outfit change. Someone peed through her nappy. And picking up some more fruit for Layla. Because Layla likes her fruit, don't you, honey? Yeah. Right, I'm back home. It's been a bit of a day. It's not been bad actually, it's been a very nice day out. I'm absolutely shattered, my back is killing me. It's just been one of those days. Layla's got herself stuck under the walker. She's, for some reason, created an obstacle course for herself by trying to climb through the bottom bit. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up for this week's vlog now. There's not much else planned for this afternoon. Perry will probably be home a bit early today because he's working out of the New York office. And yeah, it was really nice. The market's actually a really nice one. It's nicely set up. They have their own ice rink as well and stuff like that. So it was really nice, even though it was an incredibly sunny day. It's really warm today. It's about 22, 23 centigrade. I have no idea what that is in Fahrenheit. I have a feeling that's somewhere in the 80s or 70s. No, 70s. I think that's in the 70s. So it's kind of the same weather we had Rhinebeck weekend. So if you know what the weather was then that's roughly what the weather is today. What are you doing? You got yourself stuck?
What are you doing, you silly muppet? How about if I hold this so it doesn't keep moving and you try and crawl out of it? Yeah, go on, you can do it. You can do it. There you go. Come on, honey, you can do it. There you go. Well done. You managed. Is that alright now?
Okay, back again. As for knitting, I normally do a roundup at the end of the week vlog to show you guys what I did. I can't actually show you any of the things that I've knit because they're all design projects for the sock club. So I finished 3 pairs of socks this week, one which I cast on at the weekend and finished. So there's that. I finished the Christmas socks and the first 2 socks for next year's club, and I'm not actually sure if they're going to be pattern 1 and 2 that get released, but I finished 2 out of the 12 patterns for next year. And I also finished the body of the cardigan that I've been working on, the mix and match sweater cardigan. I haven't actually I haven't worked on that at all since I bound off the ribbing on the bottom. And yeah, so that's that. I'm hopeful that I'll get around to picking that up and working on it a bit more this weekend. I think because I was feeling the pressure from the sock club, completely self-imposed pressure, I kind of wanted to get a few of those socks under my belt and just feel a little bit more relaxed about that, which I now do. I need to finish sorting out my stash and putting that away. It's sorted, it's more the mini skeins and leftovers and scraps and stuff that I need to sort out. Yeah, so there's that, and I think that's it really. I'm going to sign off now. Thank you for joining me. If you've stuck through to the end, I appreciate it. And I'm not sure if I've split this into 2 vlogs or not. I'll decide that whilst editing. But either way, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.